Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and it's time for some gameplay for the brand new Power Rangers beat 'em up that just came out yesterday. I almost got even more on top of this, and I was going to try to stream this last night, but we had a lengthy location shoot for my movie last night, so I wasn't able to do it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Hi John, he says it's Morphin time. It is indeed. So I have played, let me turn this down on my end a little bit. I have played a little bit of this so far, both on my own and with my kids, and haven't gotten very far into the second episode yet. So I was kind of kicking around like maybe I should start like a little bit further into the game, because I'm sure if any of you guys happen to look at any other gameplay or reviews or anything, you'll probably see the beginning of this a lot. So I don't know, there's only a couple people in here right now. What do you guys think? Should I start at the beginning so you guys can just see the start of this? Or should I go where I left off in the second episode and we can all see some things that probably none of us have seen together yet? I am cool either way. Whatever suggested I see first from you guys watching in the comments right now, that's how I'll handle this. But anyway, this is Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which is in a similar vein as Shredder's Revenge, and even titled similarly in that it's a villain and there's something they want. This one is alliterative, but it's obviously kind of playing on that a little bit. What is different about it is it's trying a lot more than Shredder's Revenge was to be almost purely the 90s arcade machine experience that we never got for Power Rangers that we should have, along the same lines as Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons and X-Men and all of those things. Ridiculous that Power Rangers never got an arcade game like this. And because of that, it's actually a little bit more authentic to those, and that actually lessens the experience a little bit for me, just because I like the depth of Shredder's Revenge. You don't have the unlockable like, I'm blanking on words right now. Just did a whole stream right before this. You don't have unlockable moves and stuff like you do in Shredder's Revenge, and you don't have quite the depth to it. But it makes up for it in different types of gameplay throughout its kind of formulaic Power Ranger episodes, where you do a couple of regular beat 'em up stages, and then you get a vehicle stage, and then you get to play as the Megazord. John says he's cool with picking up where I left off. Jareth says he hasn't seen anything, so the first level is good. Might play a little bit better if we start at the beginning. John, I'm going to change my mind. I hope you're cool with that. I'm going to go ahead and start at the beginning. I don't know how long I'll play, but we'll see how far we can get in an hour, and then see how I'm feeling after that. I need to not stay up too late tonight, but I'm going to play as the Pink Ranger, as Kimberly. So far I've played as her and as Jason, and I'm finding her to be the best so far, partly just because she's got the only Zord that lets you fly, so you can go all around the screen when you get in the kind of Space Harrier stages. And I'm going to play on easy because it's Cap can't play, and it's just going to look too much like I know what I'm doing if I play on normal. So I'll nerf myself because it's Cap can't play. And also, because we'll get farther if I do it that way. As always, please let me know if you can hear me okay, and if my balance is good. And if you can't hear the music or sound effects all that well, let me know that too, please. So, John says, no Tommy, you unlock him when you get all the way to the end. So it does its own version of Green with Evil. So, this is a kind of alternate version of, like it takes the ending of the special Once and Always from last year, and it does kind of an alternate ending to it where Robo Rita does in fact manage to go back in time and work with her former self, or with her 30 years earlier self. So that's the reason this takes place in 2023 and not 2024. And it should have been an anniversary game. It's too bad that it couldn't have come out last year. Now, I will say, I don't know how much this development team was allowed to know about Once and Always as they were putting this together, but if they had all of that, if they were allowed to know everything, It's kind of unfortunate they couldn't get this out then, but I can't complain. We have it now. It's also really nice that we did end up getting this on Switch on day one, because it was announced like a week ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, that this was supposed to be delayed, but only for Switch by a week, which is a bummer to me because I was like, I gotta wait to stream it. And we did get it the same day that we got everywhere else, so that's great. Jareth, I read that this might not get a hard copy. I guess I have to buy it digital. That sucks. Hopefully eventually it will, even if they have to wait a while. I hate the way physical... So first of all, let me just say, Yesterday in the Dumpster is a wonderful title. I'm so happy about that. I'm also really digging the music in this game, and how close to the sound of the Super Nintendo game it is, which is a wonderful soundtrack. I am of two minds of... I'm kind of jumping around in what I'm talking about here, but I am... So, let me just say that, in case you missed some of that text, the idea here is that you're playing as the original First Season Rangers, because Tommy has some technobabble about the space-time continuum and paradoxes and how they can't go back in time without messing up everything. So the older Rangers have to just assume that the brand new First Season Rangers that haven't even morphed yet will be able to solve this problem. And I like the idea that it's kind of the first episode, you're playing the very beginning of Power Rangers, but with a version of Rita from the future that can bring in anything she wants to of stuff that we've seen. So later, of stuff we've seen from later episodes. So later we'll get Tangas is the one thing I've seen so far that should not be here, but is because of Robo Rita. Okay, I am of two minds about the unmorphed thing. People are complaining that you don't get to... I love how similar to Vasquez Rocks this whole area looks, because we're probably right outside of the command center right now, this being the first time we're morphing. It's great. But because we're fighting putties, of course we should be unmorphed, and a lot of people are complaining about that. And what adds insult to injury is the fact that in other Power Rangers games you have been able to play unmorphed, and you have to build up a power meter, or there's a certain part of the level that allows you to morph, like the Super Nintendo game and the movie game on the Super Nintendo, etc. I've got my special clear screen move now, so let's see what that looks like. Those are nice. I also like that they do the same thing the Super Nintendo game does. We're looking at that game real hard, in that you get your... Oops, Boulder. You get your Zord symbol in the background real huge when you use it, so that's a lot of fun. But anyway, what adds insult to injury about not being able to fight unmorphed is they made sprites for those characters, so they easily could have done it, and those other games had it, and so people are wondering why you don't have that. And Power Rangers is really unique in things that have gotten this beat-em-up treatment, in that there is another form that you ought to have. Like, you wouldn't have that with Ninja Turtles, or with X-Men, or The Simpsons, etc., etc. And so it being a unique gimmick to Power Rangers, how come we don't have it? I'm glad the morphing is represented. My counter to it is, and maybe they're overthinking this, but I bet there were meetings about it with these guys from Digital Eclipse. And my guess is that the discussion went something like this. Well, fans are going to want to be able to morph, but imagine that this was actually an arcade game in the 90s. You walk up to the machine, you put your quarter in, and you play part of a level on one quarter unmorphed before you get to morph. So what percentage of that single quarter are you not getting to actually be a Power Ranger? Maybe overthinking it, given that this isn't actually an arcade machine. But you can tell just looking at this how much they cared about being genuine to that experience. And so I bet that's what it was. Jared says they basically said if it sells enough on digital, it would get a hard copy. I guess they expect people to double dip. Well, these things always expect you to double dip, because unfortunately, what happens most of the time, and this happened with Shredder's Revenge. This happened with the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. A lot of this retro throwback stuff, or retro collections, will come out on digital first, and then a couple weeks later they'll put out the physical. And those of us that want to play it right away, but also want the physical, have to buy it twice. And sometimes it's a lot longer, and we don't know if we're going to get a physical, but this is a little bit more understandable when they just don't know how well it's going to sell, and Digital Eclipse is not a giant company. A little bit more understandable than what happened with the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, where they gave us a release date at the same time for the physical, and didn't put them both out on day one. I don't like that. There's so many different ways you get penalized for buying physical. And I've talked about this before, but it's a giant anti-consumer problem to me, and I don't like it. So like I said, not as much variety in moveset, not as deep as Shredder's Revenge. There isn't a move you can do where you press the jump button and the attack button at the same time. I got a sleeping potion. A lot of references to, especially first season episodes throughout this, that are pretty cool. I'm liking all the collectibles and things. And being the Power Rangers guy I am, I will probably try to 100% this if I can. And Goldar, we're not hearing it yet, but he has a hilarious voice that sounds like an attempt at an approximation of the Goldar voice, but isn't quite there, and sounds a lot like what I would have expected from a 90s arcade game. It's great. But yeah, like I said, you can't level up and get new moves in this, and you are more limited than Shredder's Revenge in the different kind of moves you get from the outset. This gimmick of rolling time backwards is kind of fun. So whenever you attack this time disruptor thing, it will occasionally literally rewind. Maybe it's just to keep in theme with the title. It will literally rewind your gameplay. But luckily the damage to the time disruptor stays. So you just have to keep fighting some of the same villains over and over again. But it's kind of amusing. It does seem to have a difficulty curve depending on how many Rangers you're playing with. So I'm finding that I'm getting through levels typically faster by myself, actually, than with other people. I played with 4 earlier today with my 3 sons. Yes, like the TV show. And I'm pretty sure there's more enemies on the screen when you do that, and I think the Megazord fights take longer. So at least the experience I had. And we were also playing on easy, just because we were playing with Mikey and wanted to make sure he could get through it. John, they should put 2017 Goldar in the game. No, they should not. Nor should they put Goldar Maximus in the game. That would also be awful. Jareth, maybe they could have handled the morphing-like power-ups into the Mario games. Yes, but again, it would have made it less arcade beat-em-up. One thing that is super cool about this is you can play from the beginning with 5 players and not just 4. That's the really neat, kind of unusual thing about this. And I've not done that yet, but just because I haven't had a 5th person yet to play with. But you can. So here's the Tangas. They shouldn't have those yet. That comes in Season 3 with Rito and Master Vile. Well, I guess just Rito, Master Vile's later. And then, of course, you get those in the movie. And so I'm curious to see what other things like that we get later. I haven't had too much spoiled for me yet. I think I know what most of the bosses are, but there's got to be some other stuff like that. I would be disappointed if there's not. I got to be careful not to fall off these roofs. I keep doing that. There's some fun references in the background here with this billboard. So there's the youth center. You're actually able to go there. And there's a reference to Reefside, which is, of course, the town in Dino Thunder. And I'm curious to see if there are any other references to other Power Ranger shows that aren't Mighty Morphin, because that's the only thing I've seen so far. But that's great. But anyway, so you can play 5 players, and what I really appreciate about that is I'm just imagining the arcade cabinet where the big unusual novelty is you get to play with 5 instead of 4 because it's Power Rangers. But the game is also 6-player once you unlock Tommy, and I appreciate that they went that far. I didn't expect that. It is weird that when you get to the Green with Evil stuff on a second run, you've got Green Ranger standing there. I did see some gameplay of this while you're dealing with Evil Green Ranger. So there's 2 Green Rangers on the screen. John, I don't know if this is the right thing, but what I'm looking at under Goldar Maximus looks terrible. It's terrible, and his voice is insane. That was a thing they did in Beast Morphers. They did that when Austin St. John came on. I think it was that show. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't watch all of that and I'm rusty, but I'm pretty sure that was the show and it wasn't Dino Fury yet. Whoa, I fell off. So when you play on easy mode, you get unlimited continues. That'll let us make sure we get to see more of the game here. But you don't get unlimited lives. So if you lose all your lives, you still have to just go back to wherever you would when you get a continue. And if you're playing multiplayer on easy, players can get knocked out of the game and have to wait until everybody dies before they can come back in. But the sprite work is great. Again, I keep using the word authentic, but it just is that. Most of what's here looks like stuff that you could have done at the time. Like, maybe a little bit more polished. Obviously, the technology is different, but they've done a really good job to make it look as much like it was developed with the same kind of arcade technology you would have had at the time. And I think even more so than Shredder's Revenge or something like Streets of Rage 4 or something where it's very throwback, but it's modernized, it's updated. This is to some degree, but not as much as those. And again, I think that's a blessing, and I'm not going to say it's also a curse, but it is the thing that makes it not quite as great as those, where I don't think it would have the replay value that something like Shredder's Revenge does. Now, to be fair, with Streets of Rage 4, I guess I just mean based on the gameplay I've seen and all of the appreciation fans have had for that. I've not played it yet, but it looks wonderful. I'm sure it's great. John, I do see a mention of Beast Morphers. Yeah, I was pretty sure that was Beast Morphers. And that season is hilarious because they make a big deal out of cameos for props. It's like, oh my god, we've got Lord Zed's staff, which they've probably now sold at auction because they've sold so many Power Rangers props now that the show is officially canceled. And it is a sad thing to see, honestly. And I fell off the roof again. Fantastic. Jareth, here I was trying to wait for a hard copy. After seeing this, I'm just going to go ahead and buy digital. It looks too fun to wait. It is really fun. And I think there was some worry that it wouldn't be polished enough at launch, where people were noticing some glitches and things in gameplay. And I do think it is pretty well finished. I mean, there might be some bug updates here and there that have to happen, but to my eye, I've not noticed any glaring issues of, you know, any kind of hiccups or... One thing that I like is the bosses will turn gray, or the health bar, as you see there, turns gray when you can't, when you're not able to hit them, and that is an indicator that you should jump out of the way. Love the sprite work on Goldar. He looks almost exactly like he did in the Zord Fighter on Super Nintendo, Power Rangers the Fighting Edition, which is one of my favorite 16-bit games of all time. And I put that on my main cabinets quite a bit because it's really fun to play with a stick, like an arcade game. And I always did that because I felt like that game was good enough to go in the arcade, or some version of it, maybe with more characters. And now we've got this. The slow motion is nice. And I've got my Switch arcade machine, my converted... Oh, did I get an A rank there? I got an S rank. That's good. But yeah, I've got my converted arcade 1-up Switch machine, so I'm actually able to play this game like an arcade game, which is exciting. And that's actually how I played it first, is I went ahead and did it with a stick first, which was really great. And I love that when he grows, he's all massively pixelated. That's just what that would have looked like. It's great. I didn't show you the intro, the little intro movie that this starts with. Jason was not a fan of... So just as you fire, he says, you and your weapons are no match for me. But Jason was not a fan of the animation in the little sequence that this opens with. It's not what I would want if you had like a cartoon show or something. I think it's okay for this. Again, I think it's maybe kind of what it would have looked like. And it's hard to compare it to something like Ninja Turtles because there was already a design for, you know, animated characters. Like, that was already an animated thing. With Power Rangers, you have to make up a style. And I think it's all right. It's weird to comment on because I didn't actually show it to you guys. The Megazord looks really anime inspired in that. If you just came in, we're playing this brand new Power Rangers game. It just came out a little over 24 hours ago. And it's bittersweet because with the series ending and no sense of what the future of the franchise will be, this feels like one more kind of delayed anniversary thing before who knows what else is going to happen with Power Rangers. The board game is ending next year. That may or may not be a coincidence. And there are no shows or reboots of any kind on the horizon. We just rebooted the comic series from Boom Studios, and so you are still getting Power Rangers there, but it feels very fanfiction-y in the way it's being completely reworked to include lots of different characters from every era of Power Rangers, and the status quo is like nothing we've ever seen before. I have to be honest with you, as much as I have liked Melissa Flores' work in Power Rangers so far, I was not super into that first issue, and I'm hoping it wins me over. I will keep reading it. Some of it is just taste issue. It's not what I want. I'm hoping I get won over with it, but I'm getting some flashbacks a little bit to the Buffy reboot that Boom did, and I didn't care for that either. And I'm wondering, I haven't looked at any reviews or anything, I'm wondering how the fans in general are feeling about it. but I'll give it 3 or 4 ratios. Andre, hi there. My favorite is Green with Evil parts 1 and 5. That, in my mind, is the second best thing in first season. I think the 2-part Doomsday episode is just hands down the best thing that first season has. I never get tired of that one. With Cyclopsis, it's wonderful. Jareth, I didn't realize Power Rangers was ending. That's sad. Yeah, it seems like I've been breaking the bad news to a lot of people lately. John, if they put even half the effort into Buffy as they did Power Rangers reboot, it would have been amazing. I agree, although I wish Power Rangers had initially done... I've said this before, but I wish they'd initially done the same thing that Buffy did. Like, I just didn't like that book, but I liked full-on rebooting. Although I would have kept a lot of the story points and when things happen more or less the same, but I would have, updated it to present day in the first place instead of going within the range drops. I would have still done like their version of Green with Evil instead of going, well, that happened, but we'll just pretend like it wasn't the 90s and all of that. I like that Buffy started over, but the way they kind of jumped the gun with a lot of plot points and things right away didn't really work. I thought I dodged that. Oh, look out. Look out! So yeah, a good variety of different types of gameplay here. And like I said, these Space Harrier stages are cool. Jason liked this so much, he said that he'd be okay with a whole game like this. I think he liked these stages even a little bit more than the beat-em-up stuff. No, I went too far. Hold on. But yeah, how gnarly is this soundtrack? And really on brand for both Power Rangers and just beat-em-ups of the day. It's got the same hard rock style that the show was originally known for. I could have used some... And I don't think there is any of this in here. I could use some reduxes of Wasserman tracks, and I wish that the Go-Go Power Rangers theme sounded more like his recording. But I'm splitting hairs. Naturally, this is more fun with friends. I tried to get some people over to play this with me tonight. It was just a little bit too late and too late notice. I wish I could have done this with my kids, but I wanted to do this shortly after the game came out. My wife's out of town this week, so we couldn't do it during the day, and I had other things going on tonight, so I decided to go ahead and just do it solo. But like I said, I think I'm actually progressing a little bit faster by myself, because I think there's less thrown at you in one-player mode. But yeah, if you're going to play by yourself, I really recommend playing as Kimberly, so that you don't have to do this stuff by yourself from the ground. I steered right into that. I wish I had some bombs. I don't have any more lives here, which means I'm probably going to die and have to start this part over. I'm sorry to say. But here in a little bit, we'll get to see the Megazord sequence. And you can see how the first-person POV kind of... Oh, yep. There we go. Game over, folks. I almost got him there, too. But I was going to say, you'll get to see how the kind of punch-out fight works. Oh, man. Okay, I thought it was just going to put me back. Well, that's weird, because you're supposed to get unlimited continues. I thought it would just throw you right back in. I guess it does that so that you can pick somebody else if you want to. I'm going to stay Pink Ranger again just so that we can fly. Jareth Gearhart, the 3D effect looks like it belongs on Super Nintendo. Yeah, I really like that about it. And there's definitely some arcade stuff that looks like this too. But you're right, it's very Mode 7. So sorry we're going to have to go through this again. And from the start of this too. I got half of mine to actually just jump into my other file and just play the second level and maybe see the Megazord sequence there. Let's do that just so that we can see a little bit more of the game here. And I'll play as Jason this time. John, they fly now. Well, no, just the pterodactyl. That's the only one that flies. So it's fun that they go to an industrial waste site, because there's an episode in the first season about that, and Trini is very environmentally conscious. I mean, they all are, but she's especially about that, and they have a cleanup club. So a lot of reverence for the source material, particularly first season. They really went back and looked at the material. And I'm sure, like there always is, there's Power Rangers fans kind of, that was cool, kind of rolling their eyes where it's got to be Mighty Morphin again, it's got to be early Mighty Morphin again. But I'm a broken record, but again, part of that is to give us that game that we never got that should have come out during that period. And I mean, it's not exactly that game, because it's also a anniversary thing that references and builds off of that anniversary special. But I do think that's really neat. That they connected them that way. Because it lets us kind of have our cake and eat it too, and reference other things from the show also. This could have been really overly complicated in trying to bring in Rangers from, you know, every part of the franchise. There's a little too much with Power Rangers. Like, you're not going to make everybody happy. Somebody's going to feel left out. And Mighty Morphin is, of course, the most well-known and popular of these for casual fans and people that haven't bothered with Power Rangers since they were kids. So I understand the frustration from Disney-era fans and such, but if you are going to get anything in this vein, this is how you're going to get it. And we have had beat-em-ups on various consoles that let you play as Rangers from different eras. There's a lot of Power Rangers game content, a lot of really good Power Rangers game content, and mediocre stuff too, but Power Rangers has quite a good track record when it comes to games. And now both in video games and tabletop. I like that Zordon actually shows up and tells you about things. And so now these Rangers are learning about Robo-Rita from the future. It's kind of interesting that we're doing the same thing here now that we also do in the comics, which is we're in an altered timeline because somebody showed up from the future. Now with Draken, it's because of somebody from the future and an alternate timeline. It's a little convoluted. There's Miss Appleby. I bet that actress never thought she'd be in a video game. Met her at Morphicon years ago now. That's the nicest lady you'll ever meet. Jareth Gerhardt, there's Disney-era Power Rangers fans. Well, yeah, that's where the best stuff is. Disney-era gives you Dino Thunder and SPD and RPM. Yeah, that's where the smartest, most complex Power Ranger stuff is. Now, I don't really get Neo Saban fans so much. We've been obsessed in the comics with Lauren Shiba and certain characters from later, and I don't really get that, but I have not spent a lot of time with those shows because they're, what I've seen of them are so samey. I say that. I mean, some of them more than others. Like, I watched some of Dino Charge when it was on, and Beast Morphers, I think, is the best of those until you get to Cosmic Fury. And a lot of people don't like Cosmic Fury, especially because it ended the franchise the way it did. But call me a sucker. I really enjoyed it. John, RPM is so good. It is. Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, SPD, and RPM. And, you know, the lesser of those, of course, is Ninja Storm. There are worse ones from that period, too, like Operation Overdrive. But people really like... Some people really like Mystic Force. I haven't spent a lot of time with that. And Jungle Fury is quite good, too, what I've seen of it. I was space out playing these kind of games. Like, I'm thinking of just all the stuff around this I want to talk about, and I have to keep reminding myself, that's right, we're playing a video game here. Alright, now we gotta fight Chunky Chicken here, which is not a Power Ranger monster that gets used a lot with merchandising and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting that he showed up here. I don't think he's in another Power Rangers game before this. I've never seen a figure for Chunky Chicken. Oh, weird. You only get him down to partial loss of health, and then he goes away. All right. But yeah, I am so into Power Rangers games, weirdly, that I have thought for a long time about doing a secondary channel just devoted to Power Rangers gaming. And I don't know if I'd ever find the time to keep up with it. Like, you know, even like one stream or video a week. I don't know how exactly I would do it. I don't know if there's enough time in my day, and I keep thinking like eventually I'll do that. I'm also worried the time is kind of past now because the show has ended and the board game is about to be finished, and you know, it's starting to feel like a more and more dated idea, and yet there's still lots of Power Rangers fans. Like, that's never going to catch on and be huge, of course. So I'm not liking Jason as much as Kimberly. I can't tell if any character like moves faster or slower than others, or if any of them are technically stronger than the others. Obviously, the weapons are different. And, you know, the way you swipe, I guess, you know, might make a little bit of a difference in how you attack enemies, but I did not mean to press that button right then. Jareth, I guess I gotta watch those then. Yeah, Dino Thunder's my favorite. Next to Mighty Morphin and Zeo. And Space is where the... And I mean, in Dino Thunder is hands down, like smarter and better written and everything than those shows. It's kind of a first love thing. I love the lore in Mighty Morphin, despite how ambiguous a lot of it is. But all the best mythology stuff comes from Space. It's just, the acting in that show was really god-awful. John and I are also still threatening to do some Power Rangers streams next year. Hopefully we can make that happen. You always got to have your elevator stage. It's obligatory. You got to have it. I like that crazy putty. And I'm going to assume that's a Robo Rita thing and not a regular Rita thing. I like the idea that maybe she brought those with her, but I don't know. That's the thing we do in the comics, too, is just crazier, scarier putties. John, I'd like a game where you play as in multiple eras. I just want to play as the Time Force Rangers. And there's a PS2 game that I think the 20th anniversary game did that. Or 15th, maybe? Maybe it was a 15th anniversary game. Which I've played some. The disc I have is a little faulty. So I've had some issues with it. And I haven't got to play through the whole thing. But that's a fun enough game. And if I ever do my Power Rangers gaming channel... Okay, this is obnoxious, and it looks like it wants you to have somebody else fight one while you fight the other, and I'm by myself right now, so I'm sucking eggs at this teamwork game, unfortunately, and I think I needed to come in here with all my lives. I've still got one left, though, like, maybe I can get through, and I'm gonna try, but I'm not going to be able to power up my special moves, so... Oh my god. Again, knowing when you can't hit them is nice. And I can't hit either of these guys now. But you got to keep up with which one you can hit when. Yeah, this fight is irritating. But if I can just take one of these guys out, I won't have a problem with the other one. But I don't think I'm going to make it here. I didn't get the rhythm of that jump in time. Oh my god! And there's no missing all of those. If I can just get this turkey jerk one done. Ah! Yeah, I'm about to die here. Okay, I got one. But I've only got one hit left, so I am probably screwed. Yeah. So if I'm programming this game, I might try to come up with something else that Jason says besides a little help team when you're playing by yourself. Okay, so then it just takes me back here where I have one life. So if I came out right now, would I have to start the entire mission or the entire episode over? Or would I just go back to the elevator? Because I kind of want to come in here with all of my lives. Because I think you have 2 and then a 0 life, right? I kind of want to come in as a different ranger. Let's see what happens here. Jareth, has anyone seen Power Ranger autographs that are from the characters, not the actors? I'm not sure what he means by that. Autographs from the characters, not the actors. I don't really understand that. Sorry, Jareth, I'm not sure how to help you there. Okay, yeah, it is just 1 life and a 0 life, I guess. I thought you had 2. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Alright. Well, hopefully I can do this on my own. Because I want you guys to at least see a Megazord fight. Get him! But yeah, I wish I could have gotten somebody to come over and play with me tonight. I would have asked Austin to do it if you could play online right now, but that is not available on the Switch yet. Actually, I'm not sure if it's available on any of these yet. This temporary power-up is fun. It reminds me a little bit, actually, of the way metallic armor moves, if you're familiar with 3rd Season. John, I think he means where they sign it as Jason instead of Austin St. John or something. I'm not sure why they would do that. Is that a thing? You know, some of them... A lot of them will sign, you know, like their real name and then put the character name in quotation marks. I'm not sure why you would want the actor to not sign the actor's name, but I've just never heard of that. Jared says, I also don't understand, Cap, just something random I bought from my auction that I have zero idea what they are. Are they authentic? Like, do you know for sure that it's actually the actors that signed them? Not sure how you'd know that without a certificate. It's really weird. Okay, we're not likely to actually get through that boss without help, I don't think, but we'll try, I suppose. We're getting close to an hour. No, I just want to fight you by yourself, Chucky Chicken, because you're easy. So, you do have a dash in this game, which is good because your regular walk is actually a little bit slower than I wish it was. Whoa! I got stuck there. You can move around a little bit quicker if you flip, which is kind of a dodge. And I should be doing that more than I have been. But, so, the slow walk is not so bad because of that, but I do kind of wish that was a little bit faster. Minor quibble. Ah, man, I didn't get out of the way in time, because the walk is kind of slow. And you can't really tell unless you're playing, but you're being pushed toward the bottom there and to one side. Yeah, I'm not doing any better than I was before, I don't think. And then this, you're just going to get hit. Like, there's some cheap hits here because you can't dodge all of that. And you're stuck in a corner. There's no way to. So yeah, I don't know if this is even doable without another player. Hardly. Sorry we had to see this entire level again, but... So close, so close, so close! Oh, come on, get out of the way. Get out of the way. No, there's no one to help us. Stop it. Oh, I'm so close! Come on! No! Are you serious? Oh, I've still got my 0 life, though. Okay. Okay, I thought that was the end of it. I missed that. I thought I was dead. Okay, not... So the stakes were nothing like as high as I thought. Sweet! Okay, we're good. We're good, we're good. And now we progress. Jareth, nothing about the actors on them. It's like they were signed by someone pretending to be the Rangers. Yet they say stay in school and stuff. It's weird. Jareth, any chance you could take a picture of one of those and send it to me? I would be curious to see that. Okay, I'm starting to fade a little bit, but I'm going to try to get us at least through a Megazord fight. But I still am going to have to do a... Oh, cool! Cycles! I was going to say some kind of thing before Zords. I haven't done this yet. So this is still Space Harrier-like, except I'm not flying, but what's, but what this is reminding me of a little bit is the Zeo Kart Racer on the Super Nintendo. And yeah, this is so Mode 7-esque. I do appreciate that there's one thing about this that is so different from Shredder's Revenge, just all these other kinds of levels that you get to play, these Mode 7 type things. I really like what this looks like. Like, getting everything negative like that is cool. Oh, I want to do that Power Rangers gaming channel so bad. And we can play that terrible Zeo Kart Racer. Okay, who's coming after me here? We haven't gotten any more future enemies or anything. Like I'm hoping to see. It'd be really cool if just suddenly Rita showed up or something. But I think all the bosses are period first season things. This is cool. And this stuff is genuine to the time period on the same level as the special zones in Sonic Mania. Oh, I just busted up here. John, I hate driving sections. I am appreciating the novelty of it, though. Just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And because this feels like the kind of thing that specifically Power Rangers would probably do. Good job, Kimberly. You destroyed a combo. I like that she kind of peels out there at the end. Jara, sure thing. Where do I send a picture? Go to... Send it to my email address, which is CaptainLogan1989 @gmail.com. And if anybody ever wants to send me anything, that's where you can send it. I had forgotten how many times you failed your incompetence. It's appalling. Well, she's you, so, you know, you suck. You travel here to use my putties and my champions. Now, I'm not really sure how Roto Rita brought Tengas with her, but yeah. Okay, so here we are in the juice bar. There's Ernie. There's Principal Kaplan, who we rescued in the first level. And here are Bulk and Skull. And when you talk to them, you get their theme, which is great. I appreciate that. And they're pretending to be heroes like they do a lot in the first season. But yeah, so these arcade machines in the background, you actually get to play when you find a part that they're missing. And we got the part, apparently, for the first one. So there are these mini games that are their own arcade machines, their own arcade games. And I haven't tried this yet. I have seen gameplay about it. But yeah, so this one is Drive Bomber. These are all original things that are supposed to feel like... So start is not actually start. Oh, okay, so you have to press up to go faster. And yeah, this feels like a game that would have existed. So So you have one button, and you throw bombs. And I'm going to get sick looking at this, but... Ooh! I can't hardly look at this on the screen. Wow. I like that there's a rage quit button. Yeah, so I'm not going to keep doing that right now, but that's what that's like. So that's kind of neat that they threw that in there. Like, this game was not phoned in. Jareth Gearhart, it's like when people get Disney characters at Disneyland to sign stuff. Oh, so they might have been from the stage show. Or any of the meet and greet type things that they did back in the day with actors in costumes. Oh, now we got clown putties. This is great. I love how increasingly absurd this is getting. And not that these things are ever all about story, but it's kind of fun just imagining, you know, just, this is going to sound silly, but putting yourself in the shoes of these rangers, and you're being a ranger for the first time, and you're being met with an enemy that has all of this lore behind it. That's a lot of random crap to deal with in 1 week. I love Power Rangers. It's so stupid. You know, I'm a deep, thoughtful story guy. I love stuff like Power Rangers because sometimes it's fun to just break all the rules and be as dumb and ridiculous as possible. There's also lots of cool story potential in this material, which is one of the reasons I love it. But for a long time, we had to bring it to it ourselves until we got the Boom comics. Jared says he never thought about the stage shows. No, fair enough, but I bet that's what that is. The stage show was amazing because they had a giant inflatable Zed. If Zed somehow shows up in this, I will be very, very happy. I feel like I would have heard about that by now, so I'm sure that doesn't happen. Okay, I gotta get my meter up here, because there's a lot of stuff on the screen right now. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Oh, man. And I guess I have to start my power meter over completely because I lost a light. That sucks. This is getting hairier all of a sudden. It's getting tougher. When you get up real close to guys, you can do a throw, but you can't force a throw to happen. Like, they have to trigger it for you. I'm liking all of these really routine locations for beat-em-ups. You gotta have your carnival stage. Okay, we are passing an hour here. If I don't get through this stage, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. But I'll play as long as I'm progressing, probably. Which may not be very much longer, as hairy as this is, but... There are things I want to complain about, like, you know, too many of the same phrase being repeated, but that's what this would have been like. Shredder's Revenge does that too. But really, the big difference between these two games is, and I know I keep comparing them, but Shredder's Revenge, there he is, there's Bones. I think Bones maybe shows up in a carnival in the show too, I can't remember. It's been too long. But the big difference between them is Shredder's Revenge was trying to kind of refine a really good game that existed already, and this is giving us something we never got, but heavily influenced by the console games, which we did get. But an arcade game like this would have been a different beast than what we'd gotten on the Super Nintendo. And the Genesis, too, but the Super Nintendo was known more for those good Power Rangers beat-em-ups. Genesis had one, it had the movie one, but it's not as well known or appreciated as either of the ones on the Super Nintendo. Genesis also got a fighter that the Super Nintendo didn't, that was very, very simple and not nearly as good as the Zord fighter that we would eventually get on Super Nintendo, but that was all the way to Season 3. This is kind of fun. It's pretty easy so far. Really liking the aesthetic of this. I love the skull face when you go through the tunnel. That's great. Oh! I like the clown buddies. My thumb's gonna get tired. Come on, come on, come on. Oh my god. Okay. I'm kind of done with this by now. For a minute, I was wondering if there was something I should have been aiming at that I wasn't aiming at. What is all of that? Oh, and suddenly iGuy, crazy. I knew he was in this game, but I wasn't expecting him here. And he's gonna throw some eyes at me. Great. Both iGuy and Bones are in the board game. I've painted them both. That was a lot of eyes to paint, by the way. Oh, I can't get over to him fast enough. I'm getting hit a lot here with these eyes. This is tough. Okay, the eyes by yourself without another player, it's a lot of things to aim at. And it's hard to be accurate with lining them up. There we go, that's better. Come on, I can't hit any of them. Yeah, it sucks. I think it's lame that I'm taking hits when it's not hitting me, but just other cars. It's also funny that there's a green one. For the second time you'll play through the game, and you can have a Green Ranger. It's like it knows there's supposed to be 6 here, and you just have to imagine the rest of your team. And now I'm upside down. John, I had an iGuy figure as a kid. That was one of the one-off monsters that we sold the show on. Not as much as some other things. Like, what's his name? What's the Egyptian guy that's also the board game? These are harder to hit than they should be. Also, my hands are getting tired. I would be more comfortable right now with an arcade machine. Oh. This is getting a little bit tedious, actually. Oh, I guess I'm not hitting iGuy enough. I'm so worried about these eyes. A steering contest, that's great. Oh, get him, get him, get him, get him. Oh my god. That was cool. And John also says he had the pig guy. Yeah, it's Pudgy Pig. Who's got a lot of merchandise more recently, along with Pumpkin Wrapper. There's an iGuy pop figure. Yeah, putting Bones and iGuy together is fun. Oh, and now we're just in a cemetery. Or is this actually a cemetery? Or does Bones make his own dimension? I forget. Or is it like an illusion? Okay, this is what he does in the Super Nintendo game. And I'm wondering if I'll have to fight different body parts with him, like you do in the Super Nintendo game. I'm going to have to listen to the soundtrack on its own. It's just delightful. No, I'm on my own. So when he's spinning, his bar goes great because you can't hit him, but then once there's multiples, you can hit him, you just gotta find the right one. Took me too long to find it, too. Oh, good. And then I knocked him into a bunch of pieces. And how is he going to reconstitute, I wonder? Oh, these are cool. Something I didn't mention earlier is you can artificially increase your power meter, and I just haven't been thinking to do it because I'm not playing with multiple people. But while I'm just standing here, I should be doing this. So you press X, which is the same button as your power meter, and you do pose, and then that lets you build it up. And I could have been doing that all along. It didn't occur to me that there are these sections where nothing's coming at you. I kind of want to save it for more of the boss, but I may not be able to hold out that long with how little life I've got left. So I wonder if these are putties disguised as skeleton guys, or if they're like actually Bones henchmen. They're cool though. And then there's some actual regular putties and tangas. I really like the variety of enemies coming at you, and how much character they have. Oh, this is a graveyard. I'm also digging. I maybe should have saved it, but I've only got a couple of hits left here. Come on. So yeah, there is time to just stand here and do this. This is my favorite location so far. This is just going to take forever, though. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, I shouldn't have moved on. Now we got Bones again. Okay, so... Oh, is he missing his arms? We're doing the same thing we did in the Super Nintendo game. This is great. So cool. So that means that we're liable to just fight his floating head at some point. I mean, that makes sense anyway based on what he does in the show, but it's just neat that we did that. That was such a hard boss in the Super Nintendo game, and I think it's only the first or second boss. Like, it's real early. If I ever do my game channel, I will play that too. And, like, I know there's probably not going to be much of an audience for that, but God, I want to do it. I just think it'd be so much fun. Maybe if I did them as more, you know, high-quality production videos and not just streams, it would find an audience, but I don't see myself ever having the time to put that much effort into that concept. Jareth, I just sent it to you. Thanks for your help, Cap. Yeah, I'll take a look at it and send you a message later. Oh, my God. I bet that's what that is, though. This is my favorite level so far. This is really cool. Oh, good. Food. Because what you need when you're half dead is a giant ice cream cone. That's what you need, folks. Oh, and there's a time disruptor on top of everything. All right. Lord. Stop disrupting time! Stop it! I'm just glad it doesn't send you back to parts of the level that were harder. Ow. Boy, there's some kind of Tim Fallon stuff going on the soundtrack here. This is great. Oh my God, now they're gonna throw pumpkins at me. I don't think Pumpkin Wrapper is in this game, but it's weird because there's so much pumpkin stuff. It's weird to be in a pumpkin patch and we're probably not gonna see Pumpkin Wrapper. But he's so popular, there's no way they didn't think of him, right? When they were doing this, there had to be somebody on this production that's like, how do we have pumpkins everywhere? We're not doing Pumpkin Wrapper. Hi, Senior Sticks. Good to see you, man. I'm playing Power Rangers. Shocking, right? Once again, I'm playing a Power Rangers game. It's what I do. It takes a little bit longer to build your power meter than I kind of think it should, especially in one-player mode. Oh, I guess it's nice that when you drop back down, that in and of itself, like when you lose a life and you come back, that in itself is a clear screen move. Senior Sticks, Cap, did you unlock Green Ranger? Not yet. I'm actually seeing parts of the game right now that I've not seen yet. This just came out yesterday, and I had just enough time yesterday to play through the first episode, but that's as far as I got. So I started from the beginning tonight for stream. I was hoping I could knock him in that open grave. That would have been cool. But alas. Boy, these levels are long. Oh, there he is. Now he's just ahead. This is very nostalgic for me. That we're fighting a Bone's Head again. Just like the Super Nintendo game. This is great. What is coming at me? Oh my God. It's a... Okay. So they've really changed this up now. This is not like it was in the Super Nintendo. It's weirder, actually. How do I freaking hit him? I almost swore there. How do I... I don't know how I'm supposed to hit him. Well, crap. Okay, this is probably the end of the line here for us tonight, guys. Because I don't know how I'm gonna hit him. Okay, he turns back around, and then okay. Well, I gotta walk up to him and hit him a bunch. It's hard to get very much off of him, and he's such a small target. This is when you need 6 players, folks. Get your head over here. Get your freaking head over here. And I can't get my clear screen. I guess I could try to bring up my clear screen. Robert, Cap Camp Power Ranger. Hey, you try attacking a target that is this freaking tiny. Oh my lord, oh my lord! Senior 6 is underpower long range. I mean, I can't just shoot arrows. That's not how this game works. You don't get those kind of attacks. I'm sorry to say. And I haven't been able to build up my clear screen yet. I'm almost there, though. Come on. Come on. There we go. And do it. Oh, good. That actually mostly finished him off. But I don't know if I can do it before I get hit twice, so... I got over that. That's good. This part's obnoxious, though. It's just hard to even tell what plane he's on. There we go. Got him. You had to dash at him. Yeah, Senior Sticks, you can play with 6 players. Once you unlock Tommy, but you can play as 5 players before that, which is super cool. Wow, we actually made it. Okay. I thought I was going to quit by now, but I said I would play out until I die again, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm tired, but yes, it's very player-friendly, Senior Sticks. It's got to be real pick up and play because it's supposed to be like an arcade machine. And these kind of casual games are kind of my speed. Hello, Family King. That is a name I don't recognize. Okay, so hopefully we can get far enough where you guys can actually see the Megazord this time. I don't know if it'll happen. But we're going to try. Oh, I didn't get my double. Crap. Oh, so much eye guy. Yeah, I was liking this game okay yesterday. I'm appreciating it more the further in we're getting. There is some tedious and repetitious stuff, which is the name of the game for these kind of games. I got my genie lamp, yeah! Hope I can go back through and find all the collectibles eventually. And I'm already out. Fantastic. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight about flying. I missed my double again. Whoa, this is weird. This is super cool, though. I'm gonna have nightmares about flying skull faces and eyeballs. And whatever the hell these things are. I don't know if you're supposed to shoot the crystals. I guess not. Oh, yeah, I forgot. There was this whole environmental thing going on. All this toxic waste. Yes, I forgot about that. Oh, this is how she's refining energy into crystals. Look, there's story here, folks. Senior Sticks, who is the 6th player? It'd be Tommy when you unlock him. Like I said, you got 5 Rangers, and then the 6th Ranger is the Green Ranger. Am I supposed to hit these things? Oh, no, I guess not. See, I thought maybe those things on the sides you were supposed to hit also, but apparently not. Okay, I've only got 1 life left. I do not know if I'm going to finish this, but... Yeah, you said that already. You said that! Okay, that looked like a target to me, and I still wasn't 100% convinced it wasn't, but it's not. My God. This is hard. Okay, yep. That's tough. Okay, that's as far as we're going to tonight. Well, sorry we didn't get to a Megazord sequence. That's kind of a bummer. I was hoping to show you guys that. It's pretty silly. How close was I with the rooftops? I guess I could do Goldar one more time. I was going to go ahead and quit, but I kind of want to show you guys the Megazord. I'm going to stay with pink just because, again, it's easier with the pterodactyl. So we're going to do more of this, but now we're going to do it with Goldar and with more lives than I had earlier getting here. I think, anyway. If I don't completely suck, maybe you guys will see the Megazord. Because I got to the Megazord the first time I tried this yesterday. It's kind of weird I couldn't do it earlier. That's what always happens. So that's why it's cap. That's why it's cap can't play. Even with a casual beat 'em up like this, the title still applies. I try to stay on brand for you guys. I don't want to mess up the show premise. Okay, there's my missile. Try to get my double later when it comes up. Kind of, I'm getting hit a lot though. Oh, you actually can take those out. I wasn't sure if you could. It's alright. I was never any good at Star Fox either. Ah, steered right into that. Look out, look out, look out. God, I've already lost a life here. Jeez. Well, we're going to try. God, I'm so tired. I was aiming at the wrong stuff a minute ago. That was stupid. Yeah, probably no chance here, but we'll give it the old college try. You know, the American show would never on its own even attempt a sequence like that. God, I missed my double again. By the time I see it, it's too late. We would never attempt a sequence like this in the show, but the Sentai absolutely would. Because they were crazy. I say they were. I mean, we canceled Power Rangers. The Sentais are still being made. So that's good. There's stuff to adapt, we're just not doing it. Okay, let's see if I can get through this. What happens if I hit my special here, I wonder? Oh, not much. Okay. Good. Good. It's kind of hard to see where you are in relation to these beams, but I'm trying to dodge them. Okay, there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. There we go. Now we blew up our time crystal. I thought I dodged that. Apparently not. There's some cheap shots here and there. It's a beat 'em up. It's trying to take all your quarters, even though there's no quarters. I love the hilarious animation where he just flips over to the other side. It's great. Whoa! Oh my god. I will complain. This is very nerdy, but I will complain that Goldar should not have his wings right now. Because this is not a Goldar from the future, and first season Goldar did not have his wings. Unless he had him in the first episode and then he got him taken away. I forget, but I didn't think he had him in the first episode. Because Zed gives him back. Whoa, man, I couldn't dodge that. Unfortunately. Got that one. Alright, here we go. We're gonna have a not great rank. Well, I thought I was gonna get a D, so that's not as bad as I expected. I'm second guessing myself. Maybe he did have them in the pilot. So you gotta go forward, and then you punch with Y and B, and then you dodge Goldar when he shoots stuff at you and comes at you. And you have to punch him to build up. That's what happens when you get hit, which is a cool animation. This is easier when you're playing solo because you only have to build up your meter 3 times. This took forever playing with 4 players. And you alternate, you switch off who plays when. And by the way, there's no way to lose here. It just takes a while to get it done. But what I was going to say is you build up your power sword meter by punching Goldar. And then once it's totally filled, you see it's all pink up there because I'm playing 1 player. Dodge that. And then you get your power sword, and then you swipe it once, and you're done. Yeah, this goes really fast when you're alone. It took like 10 or 15 minutes with 4 people. So the power sword comes down, and then it's the same animation every time. You reach with the wrong arm, and then you pick it up with the right arm. I have no idea why they did that. It's hilarious. And then you hit him. And then you have to press Y a bunch of times. And there you go. When you play multiplayer, you all hit the button. Which is just a formality, really. But yeah, there's our great pixelated Megazord animation. I love it. It's just what you would expect that to look like. What rank did we get? Got an S. So yeah, that is Rita's Revenge. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it so far, and we'll play some more tomorrow. Probably not on stream, but I'm excited to see the rest of this. And I'm glad we finally have a thing like this. I'm excited to play more with this on my arcade machine over here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you, whether you're watching live right now or after the fact. It's real late, and I appreciate you staying up with me. And I'm slurring my speech, so it's time to go to bed. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with more streaming tomorrow. But not this. We're going to do some top 100 superhero movies tomorrow night. See you later, folks. Bye, everybody.